I've been using the iPhone 15 Pro Max as my daily driver for close to 3 weeks now. Switching from the Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra, the iPhone had big shoes to fill. And boy, it didn't disappoint. If you're keen on purchasing the device, I've encapsulated my experience in this iPhone 15 Pro Max review. After using the iPhone 14 Pro year, I was quite disappointed with its offerings. So this time, I didn't have expectations, but still had some hopes. Apple is known for upgrades than revolutionary changes. However, I must say that the iPhone 15 series pleasantly surprised me. While the improvements may not be immediately obvious on paper, the new 24 megapixels camera and 5x lens have taken the camera system to a level. Another significant positive is the reduction in weight, which is an advantage. Now that you know my opinion about the phone, let's delve into the details. One of the downsides of Pro Max iPhones was their weight. The 14 Pro Max felt heavy, caused discomfort in my hand and pinky finger, especially when adding a case on top of it all. Apple has finally addressed this issue with the titanium frame on the iPhone 15 Pro series. Compared to its predecessor, the 15 Pro Max has shed 20 grams in weight, a minor change on paper, but it truly makes a world of difference when holding and using it for extended periods of time. Honestly, I have to admit that this particular change has been the factor in persuading me to make the switch to the iPhone 15 Pro Max, even more than the 5x camera. It no longer feels like I'm carrying a brick and a half in my trouser pockets. Couple the weight loss with the slightly rounded edges, and you now have a phone that doesn't dig into your palms. Apple has made subtle refinements this year with respect to design that result in drastic improvements in terms of comfort and ergonomics. As for the new titanium frame, I like the way it looks. While some may say the shiny stainless steel sides looked more premium, I beg to differ. Whether you need to turn on a flashlight or quickly access the camera for snapping a photo, the new action button proves to be quite useful. Now opinions may differ on this topic, as some argue that the mute switch was more handy. Personally, I understand the convenience of having an indicator for your phone's volume levels for those who frequently switch between audio modes. Regrettably, that feature belongs to the past now. While I appreciate the functionality of the action button, it does make me wonder why Apple didn't offer customization options for users. Currently, you can only assign one function to it through a long press action. It would have been great if Apple allowed users to set actions for pressing or triple pressing it or other similar combinations. That would have truly been a pro move. Perhaps in a version of iOS, Apple might introduce this feature. Whether it was due to the wishes of tech enthusiasts or EU regulations working their magic, Apple has finally bid farewell to the Lightning port. Embraced USB-C for iPhones too. This means I can finally carry one cable to charge my laptop, phone, headphones, and power bank. Apple built its own identity in the display department with the dynamic island on the iPhone 14 Pro last year. This time, they've introduced it across the iPhone 15 lineup for uniformity. Unlike the myriad of Android phones with a hole punch cutout, the iPhone's display is easily recognizable from afar. If you see the pill-shaped cutout, you know it's an iPhone. Brightness levels remain the same at 2000 nits along with HDR capabilities that elevate the viewing experience. But thanks to the reduction in bezels, the overall footprint is slightly smaller. It's worth noting though that if the phone gets too hot, it does throttle the display brightness to an annoying low level. The 15 Pro Max is well known for its performance and minimal glitches, and my experience with it aligns perfectly with that reputation. Using iOS at 120 Hz is a delight, and the promotion display on the 15 Pro series handles animations smoothly. However, iOS 17 isn't flawless by any means. I've encountered some issues, such as the phone getting stuck on the call screen or the camera UI being unresponsive when switching lenses. These problems have been quite frustrating, as they prevented me from ending a call or capturing a picture at the moment. It's disappointing to see issues in a priced phone like this, but unfortunately, it seems to be a common occurrence among smartphones overall. Comparatively, I previously used the Galaxy S23 Ultra, which had its set of problems like disappearance of the notification panel or intermittent issues with the fingerprint scanner. Nevertheless, going back to talk about the iPhone, its performance has been consistently strong despite these software bugs. I haven't experienced any slowdowns or lag while using apps or playing games. I've been using the device for 3 weeks now. During this time, I've noticed that the phone tends to get quite hot at times. It's worth noting that I use my phone with a case, so maybe the phone has gotten warm, but the heat did not affect my usage or performance of the phone. Thanks to the new 5x lens on the Pro Max variant, you also get a good level of versatility with an extended focal length, something that didn't exist till now on iPhones. Pictures shot on the device are crisp and have plenty of details. The fact that the phone captures photos in 24 megapixels resolution is actually turning out to be beneficial. I guess megapixels do matter at times after all. It's not just about the details though. Apple's color science has improved drastically this year as human subjects don't end up having a yellowish skin tone. Let me get this out of the way. I absolutely love telephoto cameras. Coming from the Galaxy S23 Ultra, the 3x and 10x lenses were my most used focal lengths on that phone. And when I saw that Apple added a 5x shooter on the 15 Pro Max, I knew it was the phone I was getting. Having used probably one of the best telephoto cameras on any phone, I went in with a lot of expectations from the new iPhone. Well, the 15 Pro Max stood up to my expectations on most occasions. When taking photos in daylight with the 5x camera, you can get some stunning shots with excellent compression. However, when there's little or no light, the 5x lens suffers from noise and grain. Moreover, Samsung's 10x lens can click usable pictures up to 30x that are fairly detailed. So, if you wish to zoom into faraway objects like the moon, the Galaxy S23 Ultra is still the way to go. But for street photography or mainly portrait mode shots, the iPhone 15 Pro Max's 5x lens is more than capable. I just wish Apple worked on its computational algorithms to improve zoom shots past 5x. I believe that the iPhone 13 Pro Max had the smartphone battery life. It just lasted. However, I was a bit disappointed with the iPhone 14 Pro series as it didn't have the endurance. With the 15 Pro Max, Apple has somewhat redeemed itself in terms of battery life. It's definitely better than year. Still not as good as the 13 Pro Max. On average, I get 6.5 to 7 hours of screen on time, which is still pretty great. However, it doesn't compare to the 8 to 9 hours I used to get with the 13 Pro Max. Throughout this review, you may have noticed a recurring theme. Many aspects of the 15 Pro Max are derived from generations. However, there are two improvements the cameras have significantly. The phone is now lighter and more manageable. Overall, I would say that the iPhone 15 Pro Max is a device that gets all of its basics right. It addresses most of the issues from year. Also brings additional functionality through the 5x lens and inclusion of a USB-C port. So, if you are willing to buy the new iPhone 15 series, that might be a right time to buy a new device. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to share your thoughts below in the comment section, and for more updates you can check out our channel. See you in the next one. Peace out.